Hi, welcome to today's episode. Not of what I say, but welcome to today's episode of the Cincinnati series, also known as the Cincy series. So yes, in this series, I'm going to be talking about how I got to the University of Cincinnati and the process, the requirements, and all the other things that made my journey a smooth one. I would just like to share it, not because of anything. I just want to share it. And so today I'm going to be talking about transcripts. So in the last episode, last week, if you have not watched it, go back and watch it. It was about how I got into the University of Cincinnati within 4 months. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about transcripts. Very important, something like this. So transcript is one of the requirements you need when you're applying for your graduate program or when you're applying to a university abroad. They will ask you for your transcript from your previous institution. So transcript is very, very important. Everybody needs their transcript. You cannot do without it, or you need it. And so I'm going to be telling you, because mine is like a major testimony of how I bypassed. I didn't have to pay ridiculous amount of money and things like that. So I'm going to be sharing with you and lessons also you might want to learn so that you can prepare yourself and fast track your process when you're trying to travel out of the country for your master's program. So firstly so I have stories that church. Let's go right into it. Grab your popcorn, let's go. So I went to Obafemi Awolowo University, Obama University, the greatest and proud any day. However, they are not very quick when it comes to processing your transcripts. In other private universities and some other schools, you get your transcript easily. Well, a lot of federal schools do not process transcript on time. And so, that was my case. I went to a federal university and then, trying to process your transcript usually takes a lot of time. And mine would have been that case. Thank God for divine intervention and for prayers. So I started my processing, I found my school towards the end of February, and my priority deadline for the application was March 15th. So I had to send everything, all my documents, submit my application by March 15th if I want to be considered for an admission at all. And so by the time it was towards the end of February, that's when I found the school, or sometime in the middle or towards the end of February, that's when I found the school. So I had to start gathering my documents, start gathering everything. Transcripts, I did not have transcripts. Official transcripts, Unofficial transcripts, I didn't have anyone. And I wanted to go to school. Okay, so I had every other thing. So how do we do these transcripts? Wahala. I called some people said, they've gotten their own unofficial transcripts, they just applied, Senate processed it and then sent it to maybe their employer or somebody, and then they got it. But now I have barely 3 weeks to send my application. I need my transcript. What do I do? So I try reaching out to some people, connect me to anybody in Senate or in OAU that will be able to help me with this transcript. I get somebody's number, I call the guy. The guy's like, yes, it's possible. We'll be able to do it. I say, how much? He just says something thousand. Money, okay, no problem. If you want to go to school, you have to spend money, right? So, and I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm like, how will you even do it? School is on strike. So at that time, Obafemi Awolowo University was on strike, and maybe some other schools, and school was not in session. So how do you want to access the Senate building to the extent where you'll be able to help me get my transcript? Hey, because it's not electronically yet, so he has to first go into the Senate exam records room, bring it out, process it, do everything. So how do you want to do it? It's like, he'll do it in the weekend. But I'm like, no. I don't think this is true, because it's possible that he will try and do that. He will take the money from me and just keep posting me and not be able to do it. So I'm like, God, what would I do? So at that time, I'm like, I had to find a way to even get an unofficial one. Somebody gives me another person's number. I reach out to the woman. I'm like, is it possible for me to even get an unofficial transcript now? I'll get the official one later. I just need the unofficial one to submit my application. And later we'll be talking about, official transcript. She was like, that usually when you apply to get your transcript, it's the same way you get an official one, you get an unofficial one. So because it's unofficial doesn't mean that it will take less time than an official one. So what do we do? So I was still thinking, okay, so how would do it? How I would that? That one side. My school actually requires that the transcript is processed through WES, right? My school requires that the transcript is processed through West America. And so what that means is that the transcript will be sent from my school to West will evaluate my grades and then, now send it to the school. By the time we open West, let's check how much West will ask of us. So this is happening in the world though. I mean, and the amount might not be ridiculous, but then I couldn't afford it. I could not afford it because, I could not afford it not because maybe I can't, find somebody that may be able to reach out to help me, but my salary could not pay for that comfortably. If I do that, then that's it. I could not comfortably pay for that. What would I do? Time is going. I need to get transcripts that is not even yet available to West. I need to pay for transcripts. I need to pay for West. What would I do? That was the question on my heart. And so first lesson you want to learn here is, if you know you want to travel out for your master's program, start processing your transcripts. However your school does it, just start processing your transcripts. Whether you can keep it somewhere or they can help you send it to an employer and then your employer will be able to send it out, or you process it somehow, just start processing it. That's it. And so, unofficial transcript not settled. West, money for West, I don't have it. So at that point, I honestly prayed to God. I'm like, Holy Spirit, what should I do? What would you have me do at this point? Time is running. What would I do? I remember I was in my office that day and I just bent my head like this and I just prayed. And I said, Holy Spirit, tell me, what should I do? How should I go about this thing? So what I thought about at that time was, I just, said, okay, there's the ETX that OAU would use to process your transcripts. There's this, what's it called? They have this website where you use ETX. ETX will help you get the transcript from OAU. You don't have to go there physically, but you pay for that. Okay, ETX. And now start asking around, how far, is ETX reliable? People are like, that they've applied for their transcript through ETX for 6 months, for 1 year. It has not come out. They are still waiting. Remember, I had like 2-3 weeks to the end of application. And so I'm like, okay, fine. After I prayed, the Holy Spirit just told me that I should go ahead. I should pay for that ETX. Pay for the one that would not send the transcript to my school, because that's not even what my school requires. My school requires that I should send it to West. So pay for the one that would process your transcript, but send it to like ETX registry. So if you ever need it, it will be in the ETX registry. You can send it from the ETX registries anywhere else. How much is that one? That one was 10K. Like it's not a big deal. I can pay for that one. So I paid for that one, and then the thing stayed moving, but it did not move fast. So the West, somebody was saying that I should go ahead, I should just pay for the West. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay for the West. That's not the Holy Spirit asked me to do. So I didn't pay for the West. So I reached out to someone, and then the person now told me that, okay, usually some people are able to send an unofficial one, and sometimes because you can access your e-portal on OAU, you might want to put together all your grades, and then, let them know there's an unofficial transcript. And when it is time, you can always send them an official one. So I reached out to the program manager from my school, and I told her that I can't even get my transcript out of my school because my school is on strike. So it's going to take a long time for me to get it out of my school before it gets to West. She's like, okay, can I come up with an unofficial one? I said, yes, I can. She's like, okay, no problem. I should send the unofficial one that they will evaluate it with their own evaluator in school, or like an evaluation board. I think it's called ECE. They will evaluate it there and everything. I'm like, do I have to pay for that? She's like, no, you don't worry. You don't have to pay for that. We'll cover that. I'm like, wow. See how I saved myself West money of thousands of naira and long process of OAU's official and unofficial transcripts. And so I went to ePortal, put all my grades from first semester part 1 to final semester part 5, put all my grades together and put in a PDF file and tagged it unofficial transcript. So I sent it in as the unofficial transcript, and I submitted my application. And so after I did that, she now told me that okay, that they received the unofficial transcript. However, the ECE, the body said that these are just my grades. they do not show that I actually obtained the degree, which is true, because if it's supposed to be an unofficial transcript or an official transcript, it will show you that you obtained that degree. It will not just be showing you EGL 101, A80, EGL 102. It will show you that, okay, these are your grades, but then you also obtained the degree. So she said that I should send my LLB certificate to show that I obtained the degree, send my law school certificate, and send my law school transcripts. Law school transcripts. What do you want to find out? That's another story. I will not stay down. Okay, so she said LLB certificate I have, law school certificate I have, my crossover certificate I have, law school transcript I don't have. How do we start that one? So I reached out to my friend. I'm like, how do you know anybody that can help me process law school transcript? She's like, yeah, she has somebody inside and everything like that. So send no problem. Send me the man's number. I called the man. I said, I want to get law school transcript and everything. It's like, oh, okay. Have I paid alumni fee? I said no. Alumni fee and the transcripts 30K. I said, okay, no problem. It's not even a problem. We can do that. So when would the transcripts be out? He said, maybe like another 2 weeks to 1 month. 1 month, okay. Saying that the DG might not be around, he might be away for meetings and things like that. That so they cannot be sure when he'll be able to sign the transcript. I say, Holy Spirit, this one is not working, no. So I went back and I just prayed. When I prayed, I kind of had that nudge to slow down, not to rush, because because I'm a very energetic person, I was already saying, how do I go about it? I need to quickly find a way to get my law school transcript. I was already making calls, trying to do everything. And as I prayed, I just felt that need to slow it down. Don't rush it. Just calm down. And so I reached out back to my program manager, and I told her, I said, but my law school transcript is not one of the requirements for applying for a master's program. So are you sure I need to show my law school transcript? And then she now gets back to me and she says, oh, that is law school, the one I did after my LLB, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, no, don't worry. You don't need that. You don't need your law school transcript. You don't need to do that. That's how I saved myself another 30K. And I did not have to stress about it. I did not have to waste any time about it. So all that I used was the grades that I had compiled from my portal page and my LLB certificate showing that I got the degree. That's all I used as my transcript. So I did not have an unofficial transcript, or I did not have an official unofficial transcript, and I did not have an official transcript. I didn't have any of both. I compiled my grades and used my degree to back it up. However, not all schools will allow this. Some schools will say that you should use WES. I guess it was just the peculiarity of this year, knowing that, there's been, COVID last year and some people are just trying to get back to normal, and also God's favor. So not all schools might allow that. Some schools might say, send us an unofficial transcript. When you get the admission, you send us an official transcript. You might be able to reach out and ask them that, can you do this? If you went to a school like mine, you might be able to just tell them that, you don't have this. Can you do this in the meantime and you get this back to them? Or can you use your certificates to back it up and then you have your grades and things like that? Or if they are willing to help you use their own evaluation body to evaluate your grades rather than you use WES. And that was how I saved myself all the drama, sent in everything, and got my admission, just like I said in the first video. So hey, lessons to note. Get your transcript on time if you can get it. Number 2, communicate with your program manager or the international person in charge that is talking to you on behalf of the school. Communicate with the person. Let them know when maybe you're stuck or you don't have this document or this is what you have in place of that. Inform them. Let them know. Sometimes they have alternatives for you. Sometimes they get it wrong too and they're like, oh no, you don't need that, or you can use this in place of that. So communicate with them. Let them know at every point in time when you're stuck. Number 3 lesson, pray. 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 That is it. You guys, you have to pray. That's it. I don't think there's any other thing in this whole matter. It's prayer. We transcript this whole thing. Prayer. And I saw this. Yeah, I'm going to show you this headline. I saw this headline on Facebook where somebody said that he lost an admission and a scholarship because of transcript. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And I don't think that you want to just leave it or be like a desk about it. Like, well, I've tried, I've called them, I've gone to school. If you've done all the things you're meant to do and things are not still moving, you switch and you pray and things will work out. So hey, thank you for watching today's episode. I will talk next week about visa. Visa is another major topic that, obviously when you get your admission and everything, you're supposed to apply for your visa to come or go to the country that, you are going to. And so all the drama that involves my visa and mistakes that people make when they are trying to apply for their visa, I'll tell you all of that in the next episode. Bye for now.